Hey everybody, welcome to the video, welcome to the channel. This is our 1950s barn slash gymnasium slash world headquarters that we recently acquired from Dirt Perfect. If you've been with us for more than a minute, then you know the scoop. But just in case you haven't, when we got this thing, it was on the verge of collapse, and we put a ton of work into this. We put some more temporary beams in, got those beams up into place, started lifting, getting this building slowly back into its original shape that it used to be. We also did quite a bit of concrete work and foundation stabilization down on the bottom side of this old building as well. And yes, we do plan on getting this thing built back strong enough that we can get all of these posts out of here and have a big open space inside of this old gymnasium and frame in a little bit of office space for us to grow into as well. But to do that, we've got a little bit more demolition work to do. That's what we're doing today. Let's get started and I'll kind of walk you through the process. We're actually going to start up here at the pole barn. Remember, part of this whole gym project is to give a place, everything we had stored in here, nice, neat, organized stores down at the gym, and then we're going to turn this into a small off-grid shop for smaller projects with a little bit of heat and a little bit of power. In fact, I brought solar panels over this morning. I got a couple of these I need to offload, and then we're just going to fill this thing up with some more stuff to take down. No sense of headed down empty. Drive shaft off the Fubaru. A fella never knows. It's just hard to throw away metal. Some hydraulic hard lines off the 555. No way we're getting rid of those. This is kind of exciting because honestly, I don't remember half the stuff that's in here. It's like a discovery. Everybody I know has got a random tote of plumbing fittings. It's a start. Boy, do we have a long way to go. Depending on how today goes, I do believe the next video is going to be hitting that pretty hard. Also, we found some of these cool old cans when we were digging through that bench last time, so I'm curious to see what else we find today. We've got some light on this side over here. I'm going to stretch a cord, bring our LED over here a little bit closer. Somebody said I ought to make like a shadow box and put all these old cans in, at least the ones that are in decent shape, and I think that's a pretty cool idea. A lot of these are pretty smashed up, but there's some in decent shape that would make a cool shadow box. Cool, that one's in good shape. Maybe if we just got one of each brand, pretty neat. We got Tiger Red, PBR, Pepsi, Miller, that Sterling, that Mountain Dew, and this old vodka bottle. That'd look cool in a shadow box hanging up in the office somewhere. We also found this old shoe stuffed in that wall too. So if you ever played basketball here and you stuffed your shoe in the wall, we got it. Apparently you felt like the laces were worth holding on to. All right. Start with getting the rest of this OSB off on this end down here. That is just not the tool for the job on those high parts. I know the tool that I need. I just don't have one handy, which means we're going to have to make it. Well, the pipe isn't quite as thick as I'd like it to be, but I think I can get it to work. I need a beating device. Give her a little shape here. Close. Gotta work, just a little bit of effort. Okay, I need a battery. Luckily, I just had an order of benchmark abrasives cutoff wheels come in, which is perfect. Get these screws trimmed, see if we can tap that electrical conduit collar over it. We'll see if this contraption is even gonna work. Oh no, my drinks. Now that's a fancy pulling hook. Haven't decided if it's too long or perfect, just perfect yet. She may be a touch too long. We're gonna have to time the flop a little bit here. Oh yes. Oh! That is handy. Oh. Oh. Yeah, I'm gonna shorten her just a little bit. Well, it beats trying to balance on the ladder with the halide, that's for sure. Oops, well, there's a wire there. Well, that was worth the 10 minutes of work. So I want to start the OSB on this wall next. We're kind of trying to get this third of it done and knocked out. That way we've got a little bit of a head start. Some people asked why not go ahead and do the whole thing. Remember, Dirt Perfect still has a bunch of stuff in here, and the agreement I had with him was, hey, take the winter to get your stuff out. I don't plan on doing anything too serious until the summer anyway, and we've been able to work around everything pretty well. This is just getting us a head start when it comes time to do all the work below and rebuilding these trusses. Well, let's get the first section we tore down, picked up and loaded in the truck. Oh yeah. So basically we've been working everything to 3 rows. This center row, Dirt Perfect's, decide what he wants to do with it, saving for him. That row over there, trash. This row over here is my keep stuff. Well, let's get the rest of this organized and then we can just start stripping some more. The wall, that's not that kind of channel. Well, let's start shoving some of this trash around to the trash pile. Got some old TVs. I'm sure they work really well. This is actual oak. I'm sure it used to go on a dresser of some sort. Oh, I just can't bring myself to throw that away. We could put that somewhere, heck, maybe in the YouTube yacht, on the captain's quarters. This old church pew, I don't even know what church it came out of. Let's take a look at it. It's honestly in pretty rough shape. Everything's kind of split on it. We're delaminating all over the place. See that? Everything's splitting. It's in rough shape, but it's still just some really good quality oak wood. And I don't think I could bring myself to burn that just yet. I say let's store it for another 5 years and then we'll burn it. That seems like a good plan to me. 1, 2, 3, go up. Okay. 4, 5, 6, go. Okay. Somebody knocked it. There you go. Okay. 12. Don't stop. Come on. Got this little sandblast unit. I actually bought this off of Mike about a year ago. Really used it a lot. That's why it's still stored down here. Got a nice boat anchor. I mean, it could come in handy. We own kayaks. The Admiral definitely want to keep the screens. We use these to dry out flowers and herbs and things like that. And you can never have too many because it takes a long time for that stuff to dry out. Old rollers and the track and the support brackets. You know we're going to be hanging on to that. Heck, we might be able to use it when we frame this in up here somehow. Incorporate that. That'd be pretty neat. I think that came off an actual barn. Let's get some of this. Oh, I keep forgetting about that string. We need to take that down real quick. Anyway, let's get this putting green off the wall. Move some of these paint cans down out of the way. They're all empty. Just need to go in the trash pile. They're all either empty or dried out. That came off pretty quick and easy. There's some old chalk graffiti here. Roger, last name is somebody didn't like Roger. All right, I suppose let's start ripping that OSB off next. I wonder how this stuff's gonna come off. Okay, kind of like that, I guess. Well, let's just start with some hook action and see how she goes. The other day I started at the bottom and then worked my way up. I think that's going to be the go-to. That seemed to work better, and then we can just hook whatever's left. And then we're going to start pulling off the bead board from both sides, salvaging what we can, trashing what's bad. So when I got pieces like this that are going to be all busted and broken up, that's going to go up to the burn pile. We're going to work our way off and try to salvage as much as possible. I don't know how much that's going to be. I can see it's It's really in pretty bad shape. A lot of split, splintered, cracked. I'm sure just years of, you know, rough housing and basketballs into it and that kind of thing were pretty tough on it. This is what happens to that old bead board. It just splits right there. And most of them are already, look, that one's cracked there. Yeah, just... not looking promising. There are brown recluse all over this, but most of them I've seen so far have been eaten, like the torso is eaten out of them, which is the job of a wolf spider. There's a brown recluse for you right there. Feller looks pretty cold. Either way, we're gonna handle that situation. I just don't think, most of these are all busted and broken. They're all split and shattered anyway already. This side's even worse. It's got full-on holes in it. We're really starting to get a good look of some of the issues here though. And I don't know how much it shows up about the gaps that are kind of in those one-bys. I don't know. But you can see these aren't tight anymore. I don't know if that's what led to this one squatting or if that's the aftermath of it squatting. Let me run one of these timber locks in to really drive home the point so you can see how much of a gap there is. And I'm going to do it down here and try to grab this board because that board's supposed to be attached here. A lot of people said the reason this thing failed is because it's a bad design, but it's really not. It's not an uncommon design either. In fact, they're all over, and there's several more in our area that are up, standing strong, looking good, with the exception of one other one. And 9 times out of 10, what it seems to be is lack of maintenance that ended up being the overall issue for it failing, which is with any building. My suspicion is they didn't have good drainage here. They never put proper drainage in. Everything just runs right off the roof. I think the foundation got underwashed a little bit. Signs of settling are pretty obvious, and I think when it settled, it pulled everything down, and once it started, it just kind of snowballed from there. I could be wrong about that, but that would be my best guess. Now the bummer part, and this is the first bummer of the whole project, honestly, it's really went pretty smoothly, is I don't think we're gonna be able to salvage this bead board like I'd hoped. And that does hurt a little bit, because it's pretty cool. I like saving history. It just would have been neat to be able to reuse it somewhere, but it's just too far gone. Sometimes things are too far gone. I don't know. Even if I had every piece has a split or damage. I don't like it. I don't like it any more than you do. So we're just gonna go ahead and strip it. We're gonna strip to about this level on both sides. And then we'll leave the rest for now. That's gonna allow me to get the measurements and everything I need to get for how we're gonna tie this in. When I tell you I'm glad we're doing this kind of work in the wintertime, I mean I am glad we are doing this kind of work in the wintertime. All right, let's get this all picked up. Then we'll be on to the next step, which will be popping that bench up and seeing what's on this side. I think we might as well just cables, boards, stuff everywhere. Oh, other ladders. Okay. Oh, still posts. If the Admiral found out that I wasted good chicken wire, well, I'm pretty confident this building would be my new home. That's like $50. Oh, let her go too soon. Got a nice sink, huh? Well, now that's fancy. A Kohler at that. Very nice. This is almost like a like a Trex material. Okay, how do we get under this? Oh gosh, how do we get under this? Why is it so floppy? So this is concrete fiber that you can put in your concrete. You dump it in the mixer truck and it just does a whole bunch of extra revolutions. Mixes that in with the concrete and it helps reinforce it. Looks like some rats or mice or something have chewed these bags open. But there's a whole bunch of it. And Dirt Perfect actually won this in Vegas. I think it was the first year we went to World of Concrete a long time ago. Never ended up using it, but it's here. And we'll probably use it whenever we do the concrete down below. I got just a couple other odds and ends. And we got to get that corner swept up and cleaned up a little bit better. And then we'll go over there and pop that bench and see what kind of stuff is under there. I made a promise for this evening and I really intend to keep it. We're just gonna shove this hardwood, I think, back up against that wall for now. And then we got a whole lot of sweeping. Get this all polished up. I wanna recap just a little bit so you know where we started, where we're at now, and where we wanna go. And I will show you what the next step is. And I will tell you now, it's about a $10,000 step, and we hope to partner up with a company that we've been talking with to cover that step sometime this coming summer. But the whole goal of why we got this thing was a building we could grow into, not only to meet our storage needs, but to also meet any eventual office needs that we might have, and just to have a cool rec area for us to use as well. I also plan on incorporating a shop underneath here in the future too. So it should meet all of the needs that we could possibly think of. And with the completion of today's work, we're coming up to the completion of phase 1, which was get in the building, get it stabilized so it doesn't collapse and it'll actually last. That includes the beams we put in and the concrete work we did around the bottom side. Get it cleaned out to where we can utilize it for storage so we can get stuff out of the pole barn we've been using for storage and convert that into an off-grid shop, and then get a space that we can use so we can just have a little bit of fun. Let me get this sweeping finished up, and then I'll answer some big questions some people have had about where this will go from here. Phase 2 that we're talking about, that next $10,000 step, beam on the inside, lift the whole thing up, CMU wall comes out, ICF wall goes in with an 8-inch core. This goes down 2 feet. That also goes down 2 feet. We'll pour some bigger reinforced pillars in here and get rid of some of these columns. We'll be able to span from post to wall, eliminating some of the posts down here, making it a more usable space. And since we're doing ICF, we'll be able to actually pour this exactly how we want it and get at the minimum a 9-foot wide door, if not a 10-foot wide door to go in here. Same thing on this side, we'll reinforce these posts and add a stiffer beam from there to that wall, eliminating that post. And that row post will go as well. It will also include excavating down the full length of this back poured concrete wall down to the footer, backfilling that with good clean stone so we've got good drainage all the way around, which I still think is part of the big problem here. And in the process of doing that, we will also attempt to straighten that back wall as well. And then once we get that done, that will be phase 2 of the project, all the concrete work and everything down below, getting everything rock solid and forever in place. Then phase 3 will start, which will be rebuilding these trusses, building that wall for the offices we talked about, and the permanent beams that will replace these temporary beams, so all these posts will eventually come out of here. Phase 1 is almost done. Phase 2 will be sometime this summer, and phase 3 will be, well, it just depends how popular these videos are, I guess. The main goal of popping these seat tops is to check the anchors and see how they look. The fringe benefits are if we find anything cool hidden underneath. More Pabst Blue Ribbon, Mountain Dew, a glass bottle, There's a Falls City. That's pretty cool. And the old mouse with matches joke looks like it's pretty close to reality on this one. So the anchors on this side look really good too. It's that piece of angle iron through bolted on the bottom and then bolted into the sill plate, which is then of course attached to the wall down below. And they look all in good shape. I don't see anything crazy, anything split out, busted, not even rot. I mean, it just looks great. Whoa, what's that back there? Did I miss something under that rock? Or is it just a rock? I think it's just a rock. Ow! There are so many brown recluse in this rig. Is it just a rock? Somebody just put a rock back there? Yep. Maybe it's something fancy. It's not. Pros and cons of this building so far at this point in the process. Pro, the floor is in way better shape than I would ever imagine. There's some bad spots, but overall, in general, it's phenomenal. The building went up fine. Didn't have any issues there. All the anchor points look great, which matters whenever we do that ICF wall. We need all that to be strong so it doesn't, unfold on us. That would be a downer. Honestly, there's a lot of pros. It's better than I expected. The only con is that bead board's not going to be able to be saved. Maybe when we get into the taller sections up top where it wasn't beat up as much by people running into it, maybe that'll come off better. Maybe if I get a smaller flat bar, I might try a few different things to save that because I would like to get some of it. Other than that, this thing is awesome. I got nothing else to say about it. I really don't. The only exception is we got to go check on that promise I was telling you about. Look at these old cans I found.
You got a basketball?
Yeah. Those cans I found under the bench.
Oh my god.
Isn't that crazy?
Daddy, I want to see if you can shoot a hoop.
You want to see if I can shoot a hoop? I'm not good at it. We'll try. Watch out. You watch it? I hit you. Yeah, we got a broom and everything. All the fancy things in life.